Debt doesn't just cost you money. It quietly limits your options. And if you're making payments every month, but your debt barely moves, something isn't working. Think about this. If your income dropped or your expenses jumped, how long before that debt starts to feel overwhelming? Because here's what most people don't realize. Debt isn't just about how much you owe. It's about whether you have a system that's actually working. Most people aren't stuck because they're not trying. They're stuck because they don't have a clear plan they can follow all the way through. So what if you had a simple, proven system that builds momentum and actually gets you out of debt faster without guessing every month? Hey, I'm Larry, a semi-retired electrician who's figured out simple money systems that actually work. Stick around, I'll walk you through this step by step, and I've got a free gift at the end that'll help you set this up fast. If you've been trying to pay off debt, but it feels like nothing is really changing, you're not alone. A lot of people are doing what they think is right. They make payments, they try to cut back, but they never feel like they're getting ahead. And the reason is simple. They don't have a system they can follow all the way through. They're reacting instead of executing a plan. And in today's economy, where things can shift quickly, that kind of approach can keep you stuck for years. And in a few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the exact system I used, the same one that still works even in today's economy. So let's start here. Step 1. List every debt you have clearly. Get everything out of your head and onto paper. How many debts are you actually dealing with right now? And could you list them out from memory without checking? Most people can't, and that's part of the problem. Because when your debt stays vague, it feels bigger and more stressful than it actually is. So what you want to do is write down every single debt. Credit cards, loans, anything you owe. List the balance and the minimum payment for each one. This step isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. Because once everything is in one place, something changes. It stops feeling like chaos, and it starts to feel like something you can actually manage. You go from uncertainty to control, and that alone reduces a lot of stress. Let's say you write everything down, and you notice one balance is only a few $100s. That's not just a number, that's your first opportunity for a win. And seeing that opportunity changes how you approach the entire plan. And once you've done that, the next question becomes obvious. What's the best way to actually pay this off? Step 2. Choose one payoff method and stick to it. Now you're going to hear different advice out there. Some people will tell you to focus on interest rates first. And mathematically, that sounds smart. But here's what most people miss. Debt isn't just a math problem, it's a behavior problem. If your plan doesn't keep you motivated, you won't stick with it long enough for the math to matter. So instead, we're going to use a method that builds momentum. It's called the Snowball method, and it works because it gives you quick wins early. Here's how it works. You take your list and reorder your debts from smallest balance to largest, not by interest rate, just by size. Then you focus all your extra money on the smallest debt first. At the same time, you keep making minimum payments on everything else. Why does this matter? Because progress changes behavior. Let's say your smallest debt is $250. If you knock that out quickly, something important happens. You feel progress, you see movement, and that creates momentum. Once momentum starts, it becomes easier to stay consistent. And now that you've got a system, the next challenge shows up fast. Where does the extra money come from? Step 3. Create extra money in your budget. Because without extra money, the plan moves slowly. Your system needs fuel to work. So take a look at where your money is going right now. What are you spending each month, and what could you temporarily reduce? This isn't about cutting everything forever. It's about making short-term adjustments to create long-term freedom. Maybe it's eating out less for a while. Maybe it's pausing a few subscriptions. Or maybe it's finding a small way to bring in extra income. Even a little bit makes a difference. If you free up just $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year going toward your debt. If you push that to $200, now you're at $2,400 a year. That's real movement. And once you start seeing that progress, there's a psychological shift. You stop feeling stuck. You start feeling in control. And control leads to consistency. But once you start doing this, something predictable happens. At first, it feels good. You're organized, you're focused, you're finally seeing progress. But after a few months, it can start to feel repetitive. And that's where most people fall off. That's exactly why the next step matters. Step 4. Stay consistent even when it gets repetitive. Because this process isn't about one big breakthrough, it's about steady progress over time. So how do you stay consistent when motivation drops? Habit 1. Track your progress visually. Even something simple like crossing off debts or updating a list can keep you engaged. Habit 2. Remind yourself why you started. What does being debt-free actually give you? Less stress, more control, more options in your life, and more flexibility when life changes. Habit 3. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Everyone's timeline is different. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Even small progress counts. Because small progress repeated consistently becomes big results. And as you start knocking out debts, something powerful happens. And that brings us to the final and most important step. Step 5. Roll your payments forward to build momentum. Every time you pay off a debt, you don't stop that payment. You take that same amount and apply it to the next one. So if you were paying $60 a month on one debt, once it's gone, that $60 gets added to your next payment. Then when that one is paid off, the amount grows again, and again, and again. And this is where things really start to speed up. At first, progress feels slow, but over time, it builds. And once that momentum kicks in, it becomes much easier to stay on track. This is where people start seeing real results. Balances drop faster, progress becomes visible, and motivation becomes automatic instead of forced. That's the snowball effect, and it's what turns small wins into major progress. It's how your effort starts compounding over time. And here's the key idea to take away from all of this. Getting out of debt fast isn't about finding a perfect strategy. It's about following a simple system all the way through. Because the people who succeed with this aren't doing anything complicated. They're just consistent. And that shift, from guessing to following a clear plan, is what changes everything. And this is where things start to click. You're no longer wondering what to do next. You're building momentum month after month. You can see where your money is going and where it's taking you. And in an economy that can shift quickly, that kind of control gives you stability. Because the goal isn't just to get out of debt. It's to build a system that keeps you stable no matter what happens next. If this video was helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next ladder lesson. And drop a comment below. What's one quick move you're making this week to start paying off your debt? Oh, and check the description for your free gift. It's a simple debt snowball template that helps you map out your plan and start seeing progress right away. No strings attached. Download it and get started today. One more thing. If you want to build a stronger foundation before tackling debt, go watch my previous video on zero-based budgeting. And remember, if this electrician can do it, so can you.